Dear students, once more you are welcome to our channel. Yesterday I taught you about the simple sentence, and simple sentence are subdivided into different categories, and that is the declared sentence, and I told you the pattern of the declared sentence. I hope you must have remembered this thing. And there are 5 patterns of the declared sentence. I told you subject, verb, object, another object, subject, verb, complement, and subject, verb, object and complement. These are the 5 patterns, and which we can write the simple sentence. That means the declared sentence we can write. And in your book, when I have in the first lesson I told you the division of simple sentence, there was there is also another types of sentence, that is called interrogative sentence. Interrogative sentence. And today I shall teach you about the interrogative sentence. So first we should know what is interrogative sentence. If any sentences seeks any questions or enquires a fact, that is called interrogative sentence. Remember this thing. If any sentence seeks any questions or asks any questions or seeks any inquiry, that is called interrogative sentence. Generally they are in the question form. And interrogative sentence are divided into 2 categories. First category is known as yes no type question. Yes no type. And second one is known as WH question. WH questions. And first category is known as yes no type question, and second one is known as WH question. And we should confirm about both the patterns. First we should know what is yes no type question. What is yes no type question? Yes no type question is that question which begins with an auxiliary verb. That may be modal auxiliary or that may be primary auxiliary. It is not a matter, but that begins with an auxiliary verb. And when we answer that question, when that question is asked and someone answers that question, in that case first he or she will have to say yes, either yes or no. The answer will come either yes or no. So that is called yes no type question. I shall give the example, you follow, such as follow. Here, are you a student? Are you a student? When this question is asked to you, other times you will have to, what can you answer? Students, you recall it. When this question is asked you, what will you answer? First you will have to give the answer yes, here comma, I am a student. Yes, I am a student. Am I clear? And ends with a full stop. Here follow, the answer comes yes. And in the spoken English, when this question is asked, in that case you can answer only either yes or no. Such as when someone asks this question you, are you a student? If you answer only yes, that's also answer is sufficient. But in the written form, you will have to write yes, I am a student. In the written form, you will have to write yes, I am a student. Am I clear? So here we get yes as the answer. And follow the next question. Can you fly an aeroplane? question mark. Follow here. Can you fly an aeroplane? In this question, obviously, I think among you, no one can fly an aeroplane. So, what will answer you give? And you will have to give the answer, no, I cannot or can't. Is the contracted form of can. No, I can't or I cannot fly an aeroplane. No, I can't fly an aeroplane. So here we get the answer no. We get the answer no. Yes or no, children? Follow here. In the first question, are you a student? Here we get the answer yes, I am a student. And in the second question, can you fly an aeroplane? We get the answer no, I can't fly an aeroplane or I cannot fly an aeroplane. Both are the correct. In the contracted form, I can't, and it can be written I cannot. And in the spoken form, in the spoken English, when this question is asked to you, you can also answer no. No, I can't. This answer is sufficient. But in the literary form or in the written form, you will have to answer likewise, no, I cannot fly an aeroplane. Am I clear? In the spoken form, you can answer likewise, no, simple, that is also sufficient. And if you know I can't, that is also answer. But in the literary form, in the written form, you will have to answer likewise, no, I can't fly an aeroplane. Am I clear? Follow here, students. Both the questions. Are you a student? Here we get the answer yes. Here we get the answer yes. And can you fly an aeroplane? Here we get the answer no. Yes or no? We get the answer no. So, and both here it begins with an auxiliary verb, primary auxiliary. It is the B form of the verb. It is the primary auxiliary. The question begins with it. And here can, it begins with can. Can is the modal auxiliary. So here, when the yes no type question is asked, that begins with an auxiliary verb. That may be modal auxiliary, that may be primary auxiliary. It is a matter. And each introductory sentence ends with a question mark. Follow. This ends with a question mark. And this is called yes no type question. So here concrete idea, we should conclude it that yes no type question begins with an auxiliary verb, and in the answer we get either yes or no as the answer, and that ends with the question mark. This is all about the yes no type question. And next category question we come WH type question. WH type. Just a minute, students, follow. WH type means the question words that begins with WH. That is interrogative words that begins with WH. Can you say me any WH word? I know you know them, such as for example what. This word begins with a word WH. That word begins with WH. What? Yes or no? So it is WH type question. Likewise, where. It also begins with WH word. Where? Yes or no? Who. It also begins with WH word. And when. It also begins with a WH word. Am I clear? And follow, there is also another word that comes in the WH group. Just a minute. There is also another word that begins, that doesn't begins with a WH word, but that comes in WH group. Follow. And there is also another word which doesn't begins with a WH word, but provided it comes under the WH group. That is how. HOW. How? There are so many. So there are so many words which begins with question words or interrogative words that begins with a WH words. And here follows such as, if I write, what is your name? What is your name? What is your name? And when this question is asked you, what is your name? What is your name? In that case, you will have to answer, my name is Ramo, Shamo, Hari, or etc. Any words, any names. Or my name is Gita, my name is Kuni. You can say, my name is Runu. You can say as per your name. So here follow, when this question is asked, in that case you give the answer as a statement. But yes no type question, you give the answer either yes or no in the beginning. And also I have told you, in the spoken form you can say only simple yes or no, that is also sufficient. One can understand your view. But here, what is your name? If this question is asked to you, and you will have to literally write that my name is X, Y, Z, etc. But in the spoken form, you can say, what is your name? My name is Ashok. You need not say. In the spoken form, you can say Ashok. That is sufficient. So Ashok, there we get the either yes or no. But such as your name is Ashok, and if you answer here Ashok, what is your name? Ashok. That's sufficient. Am I clear? So here we get the statement as the answer. We get a statement as the answer. Like it follow, where do you live? Where do you live? Where do you live? And where do you live? When this question is asked, you have to say, I live in your native place. Where are you born? Such as your name of a village, Kalimala. I live in Kalimala. I live in Cuttack. I live in Bhubaneswar. I live in Delhi. Likewise you have to say. And here you get the statement. You give the statement as the answer. I live in Delhi. I live in Cuttack. I live in Mayurbhanj. Likewise you have to say. And here also you short form. In the spoken form, you can also give the answer, Cuttack, Delhi, Mayurbhanj. Where you live, where your native place, you can answer. Am I clear? So come to the third question. Who is your headmaster? Who is your headmaster? In this sentence, who is your headmaster? In this sentence, who is your headmaster? If this question is asked to you, you will have to say, Mr. X is my headmaster. Mr. Nabin Samant is my headmaster. Or you will have to say, Mr. Nabin Samant. Mr. Nabin Samant. In the short form, you can say Mr. Nabin Samant. That is also sufficient. In the spoken form, both the forms I am teaching you. But in the literary form, you will have to say, who is your headmaster? Mr. Nabin Samant is my headmaster. Or Mr. Nabin Samant is your headmaster. You can say likewise. And fellow, here when do you go to your school? When do you go to your school? When do you go to your school? If this question is asked, you will have to answer, I go to school at 10 o'clock. I go to school at 10 o'clock or at 10 a.m. You will have to say likewise. When do you go to school? I go to school at 10 a.m. or 10 o'clock likewise. That means the statement here in the literary or in the written form, you will have to say, I go to school at 10 o'clock or at 10 a.m. But in the short form, in the spoken form, you can say, when do you go to school? At 10 a.m. or at 10 o'clock. In the short form, you can say. In the spoken form, you can manage likewise. And fellow, how? Such as the question, how are you? How are you? And here in the literary form, in the written form, you can say, I am fine. I am fine. Or in the spoken form, you can say fine. You can say fine. fine is also sufficient in the spoken form. But in the literary form, in the written form, you will have to say I am fine. I am fine. Here you will have to say I am fine. Am I clear? So come to this point. These questions, this interrogative sentence begins with a WH word, and here we get the answer either a statement in the spoken form. We get a noun phrase. We get a noun phrase there, such as what is your name? Ramo, Syamo. This is the noun phrase. So likewise, where do you live? You can say name of your village or name of the town or name of the city where you live. And who is your headmaster? You will have to say name of your headmaster, such as Mr. Nabin Samanta. Is headmaster Mr. Nabin Samanta. And there we get the noun phrase. And all the interrogative sentence, that means yes no type interrogative sentence and WH type interrogative sentence, that ends with an question mark. That ends with a question mark. Am I clear? All the interrogative sentence ends with a question mark. Ends with a question mark. And yes no type interrogative, previously which I already taught you, there we get answer either yes or no. Either yes or no. And in the WH type question, we get the answer as a statement. We get the answer as a statement. Am I clear? I hope you must have understood this. And this is the interrogative sentence. And tomorrow I shall go about the imperative sentence, and that is also simple sentence. I shall teach you imperative sentence. Thanks a lot, students. And once more, I shall meet you tomorrow. Thanks, a lot of thanks.